Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum, my dear beloved brothers and sisters. Welcome to another episode on the Stories of Kings series. Today, we're going to talk about a king that ruled a big part. He had a great land, and he was successful in everything that he wanted to do. His economy was so good, and people were eating and drinking and sharing. It was just a beautiful area that he had. But then he thought one day and said, everything in this world that I wanted to do, I succeeded in. I do good. I love my people love me. But when it comes to Allah, it's a shame that I meet Allah and I haven't memorized the Quran. I wanted a good economy for my people. I have a good economy. I want peace in my lands and I have amazing peace. I want, people to grow and succeed in what they're doing. And all my people are successful. But when it comes to me, my faith, my Quran, I don't memorize the Quran and I want to memorize the Quran. So he asked around and said, if I want to memorize the Quran, how long is it going to take if I dedicate time? They said, my king, it will take 2 to 3 years. Most imams, if you go to them to memorize the Quran and dedicate your time, it takes 2 to 3 years to memorize the Quran. He said, I would love to do that, but I'm a king. I have to run my dynasty, my territories. I can't leave for 2.5 years, as much as I would love to. And he kept asking and asking. Everybody said 2.5 years, 2 years. Finally, there's a man that said, guess what? There's an imam that I found, that I know, that can make you memorize the Quran in 2.5 months. He said, what? All 30 paras, all 30 chapters of the Quran in 2.5 months? They said, yes. And he has graduated hundreds of people. He said, where is he? They said, he's in Mecca. He said, I'm going to go to Mecca. And he got his band, because 2 months he could have someone run matters for that short of a time and come back having memorized the Quran. So he prepared things and took some money with him and journeyed all over the way to Mecca. And he started searching after Fajr prayer. And after Fajr, they said, that's the house of that imam. He went to the house of the imam and knocked on the door. And the imam opened the door and he said, I am the king of such and such lands. And I heard that, and I want to memorize the Quran so much. And I heard if I come to you in 2.5 months, you can teach me to memorize the Quran. I came all the way traveling for days through the deserts and the land and crossing the sea to get here. And the imam very rudely looked at him and said, well, just come back tomorrow. I'm busy right now. Boom, and slammed the door. Wow. Anybody, of course, this is just very rude and disrespectful. Any one of us will turn back. But the king said, I came all the way and I've really succeeded in everything that I want. Let me just wait till tomorrow. So he waited till tomorrow and just stayed in the masjid in Mecca and Kaaba and praying and until the next day in Fajr. And then after Fajr came back and knocked on the door and said, Assalamu alaikum, my dear Imam. I am the king of such and such lands. And I want to memorize the Quran. And I heard you're the best person. You can teach me to memorize it in 2.5 months. I left everything behind just to come here for 2.5 months, dedicated to you to learn from you. And the Imam looked at him again the second day and said, again, I'm busy. Just come back tomorrow, and slammed the door on his face. That is beyond. If it's me, I would have cussed him out or said something really bad and just went back. I don't know about you guys, but 2 days and being so rude and raw, I would have done it and just went back. But the king said, I've sacrificed so much and I really want to succeed in this. So he said, I'll stay one more night. On the third morning, after Fajr, he went and knocked on the door. And the imam saw him. And the king started to say, I am the king. He said, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. He said, what do you mean? He says, I know. I heard you the first time. You're the king of this land and you do this and you wanted to memorize the Quran in 2 years is too long for you. So you took 2.5 months because you heard I am the best imam that can teach you. Come in. I have food for you and I have drinks for you and I've already enrolled you in my program and you're going to memorize the Quran in 2.5 months. He said, really? Thank you so much. If everybody says you're the greatest imam. And the imam said, dear king, I have a secret, but promise me not to tell anyone. He said, what is it? He said, the secret is I am not the smartest imam. It is my students that are the smartest students. He said, what do you mean? Nobody could teach the Quran in less than 2.5 years for people to memorize it. You're the only one in the world where people sit in front of you in 2.5 months and memorize the entire Quran. He said, yes. It's because I test them first and make sure they pass the test. He said, what do you mean? He said, If anybody came to me and said, I want to memorize the Quran, and I close the door and shut it in their face, guess what they do the first time? They quit. What was the second test? You came the next day. Yes, you're full of motivation and eagerness, but what would not an average, but a good or excellent person do? He said, the second time I shut the door in their face, they'll turn back and say, okay, I quit, I give up. He said, but you are one of the best students, I already know it. He said, why? He said, because you came a third time. Only an extraordinary person, only an extra successful person will, even though the door is closed on their face the first time, they will overcome it. And it closes the second time and they will overcome it. And it closes the third time and they will overcome it. What's the wisdom of today's story? The wisdom is, if you want to be successful in what you do, Allah says in the Quran, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. Kabad means difficulty, challenge, hardship. Allah says this world, it's beautiful. You can do whatever you want. However, I'll put challenges in front of you. So if you want to be successful, what do you do? What do you do? You face a challenge, you can turn back, you can quit, but guess what? Quitters never win, and winners never quit. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. There's going to be a hurdle, overcome it. There's going to be another hurdle, overcome it. What's the difference between the best basketball legends in the world, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Michael Jordan and LeBron and whoever you think is the best basketball player, and the little kid in elementary school? The difference is this, is the kid in elementary school shoots, plays the game and loses. And when they lose, I'm not gonna play basketball anymore. I hate it. Why? Because I lost. I don't want to play anymore. What happens to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Michael Jordan, the LeBron James, and the best players in the world when they lose a game? They say, tomorrow, we're going to win it. And sure enough, they come back tomorrow. And even if they lose again, we will win the next game until they won championship after championship after championship. I don't know what you're dealing with. Maybe it's a family situation. Maybe it's a health thing that you need to change your diet and change your and start exercising more. Maybe it's a financial situation, your business isn't doing good and you need to think out of the box and come with new ideas and marketing and strategies. Maybe it's your education in school and you're not doing very good in your grades and you need to study differently and spend more time. Maybe it's you with your faith that you need to memorize more Quran and study more Hadith and be better in what you are. Maybe it's in your marriage that you need to find better ways to connect with your husband or with your wife and with your children and family. Whatever it is, it's a challenge. And for you to win it, overcome the challenge. The door is going to close again, and guess what? You're strong enough to overcome it a second time. And if it closes a third time, once you have that winner mentality, you never quit, because quitters never win and winners never quit. I pray that Allah grant you the best success in all the good things that you do. Assalamu alaikum, my beloved brothers and sisters.